The environment in the stomach is acidic. When you get to the small intestines, everything is alkaline again, and the three types of food are all digested again inside the small intestine. The peptones and peptides produced from proteins in the stomach are now digested into amino acids in the stomach, in the intestine. Lipids are broken down only in the small intestines. Bile from the bile duct gets into the small intestine, and the fat or lipid or oil is separated into glycerol and fatty acids. Those ones enter what we call the lymphatic system and later into the blood system near the heart. But amino acids and simple sugars digested from carbohydrates in the small intestine go into the liver and to the heart and to all parts of the body for use. I'm trying to be very brief. I'm giving you a picture of what is happening in us. God has so organized our body that it is the most complicated machine ever made, and everything goes on systematically. God synchronizes everything within the nervous system, the blood circulation, the digestion, the thinking, everything. Now, the part we have to play is to put inside our body the right type of combination of foods. And we call something balanced diet. A balanced diet must contain everything that God has made for our health. And within a week, we must have eaten all the necessary parts of the diet. Yes, you can eat only carbohydrates today. You may decide to. But you must be conscious that tomorrow you must eat protein. If you eat carbohydrates today and carbohydrates tomorrow and carbohydrates the following day and so on and continue like that, you will die. It doesn't matter how spiritual you are. God is no respecter of persons. He may be using you wonderfully to save souls, to counsel them, to do all types of things. But if you disobey him in your eating habits, the consequences will come. So he wants us to be stewards of this body. Now, a balanced diet must consist of good carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, vitamins, vegetables. You find all these things in different types of food. Fortunately, we in Africa are so blessed. Africa is the richest nation food-wise and otherwise. Minerals, name them. Beautiful, handsome people, name them. Children of God, name them. We have been blessed by God so wonderfully. We have some of the best Bible teachers in the world. Amen. And it is the continent richest in believers today. Before you can find atheists anywhere in Africa, it's very rare. It's very rare. At least, even those who worship trees and stones know that there's a living God. Amen. And we are going to change the world by the grace of God. Yeah. But now let's prepare this body so that we don't die before changing the world. We must be well. We must be strong. All right. I'm talking about diet. Balanced diet, a good balanced diet is usually cheap. The most costly foods in the world today are the poisonous food. If you want the cheapest protein, eat vegetable stuff. Beans, beans are the best protein foods. Beans and lentils. Do you know that many rich people don't eat beans? In fact, in many restaurants in America, you won't find beans at all. What you find is meat, 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 meat. And they are dying. Beans, rich in proteins. If you go to Daniel chapter 1, you will find it there. He said, let the man give us beans. Sometimes they say vegetables, but beans, that's what they meant. Beans and water. That's all. Just beans and water. And you have everything. Beans contain carbohydrates. Beans contain some little lipid. Beans contains a lot of protein. Bean contains minerals. Beans contains vitamins. So actually beans are balanced food. And then when you add pure carbohydrate to it, natural carbohydrate like fermented gari. Are you here? Ijebu gari, you know it? That's sour one. See, the sourness itself has what we call probiotics that produce special vitamins in your colon, and you become very strong. So, those doctors that say we should not eat gari because of our eyesight are wrong. It was the colonial doctors who taught them that so that we may not sell our gari and buy their what it is, wheat, refined wheat. Do you know that refined bread is one of our problems? Those of you who eat a lot of bread, refined bread, white bread, is one of the major causes of diabetes. So there we are. We have the raw materials that will help us. Eat beans. I'm mentioning some things that are good for us now. For your protein, eat beans. Eat lentils. Lentils are tiny, tiny beans, very tiny. Some are black, some are green, some are pink. How many of us know lentils? Oh, very few. Wow. Lentils are common here. You can get them in shops. They are very good. All right. Eat fruits. Fruits are a storehouse of vitamins and minerals needed by the body. And we are blessed with so many fruits. Let me mention a few. One of them, the best, is avocado. Avocado is extremely rich in mineral vitamins, omega-3 fatty acids. Women, particularly, must eat a lot of avocado for their health, for their beauty, for their delivery, for their conception. It does so many things. A lot of research has been done on all these things, and you can go to the internet and find very valuable information for yourself. Oranges, different types, tangerines, grapefruit, all the citruses. extremely rich in vitamin C for resistance against all diseases, rich in minerals to build up our bones and muscles and everything. Antioxidants to defend us against all types of diseases. The members of the cucumber family. Cucumber, carrots. Now, both cucumber and carrots, for example, will be very useful for men to increase the sperm count. I said cucumber and carrots. Guava. The guavas are good for resistance against diseases. God made them in different shapes and composition for our benefit. So have a rainbow of fruits. That means when you set your table and you see that there are different colors of natural things to eat, it is very likely that you are eating balanced diet. For example, all things that are orange and yellow will give you those things that will make your eyes sharp for many decades. You know that? Tomatoes, carrots, oranges, anything that is yellowish or orange in color will improve your eyesight. That's how God has made it. There are also some things that have the shape of parts of the human body. And when you eat them, they are going to be used by God to strengthen and heal those parts of the body. Okay, look at the beans I was talking about and different types of beans. How do they look like? There you are. We call it signature. Tomatoes. When you slice tomatoes and you look inside, you will find the four chambers of the heart. Avocado. What does it look like? The womb. The womb. Woman's womb. It makes children that are growing in the womb strong. It makes delivery simple. Eat varieties of fruits. And then let me come to the nuts. Groundnuts, cashew, pistachio. Name them. Those nuts are very rich in lipids, omega-3 fatty acids, minerals, and other things. A handful of nuts per day is going to do you a lot of good. For example, groundnuts. When you eat it, please eat it with is it pink? The pink cover. Don't blow it away. That pink cover contains a particular complex compound that prevents and heals HIV/AIDS. Did you hear me? So when the villager is eating the thing raw like that, and we laugh at him, he's already preventing something. Unknown to him, but that's how he eats. But you see, we remove all those things and give the things to the goats. The goat becomes healthier. The owner of the goat dies. In fact, in our nutrition, we peel off many of the good parts because they are not convenient to our taste. All right. Let me finish with a balanced diet. The Bible teaches about balanced diet for you to be very strong. Can somebody quickly read Psalm 103, verse 5? David knew about it. Who satisfies your mouth with good things? Now, good things, David didn't know vitamins, so he just said good things. It's balanced diet. Who satisfies your mouth with balanced diet so that your youth is renewed like the eagles? Wow, that is great. God is in the process of renewing our youth like the eagles. The eagle is able to shed its feathers from time to time. When the feathers get old, and new ones will grow. So the eagle is able to live many lives, just on and on like that. That's why in the early parts of the Bible, we read about people living 800 years, 900 years, and so on. They were still strong. So the body can rejuvenate itself a number of times depending on what we eat. You are what you eat. Balanced diet. Now, what are we to do about meat? Now that I've said vegetables are the main thing God wanted us to eat. After the flood, Noah's flood, the Bible teaches that we were permitted to eat some meat because many of the crops had vanished and there were a few animals that could be eaten by those people who survived, the 8 people. Now, God gave the Israelites what to eat and what not to eat. And I want us to quickly look at it so that in our families we may know what type of meat we should be purchasing for our family members. Leviticus chapter 11. Leviticus 11. Somebody found it? The first 5 verses deal with mammals we can eat. Mammals. 4-footed mammals. All of them happen to be what we call ruminants. Ruminants. Now, ruminants are animals that eat only grass, and they have got 4 stomachs. One of them is called omasum. Another one, the big one, is called abomasum. Then another one is called reticulum. And then the other one is called the true stomach. 4 stomachs for different chemical reactions on the food that they eat. Those animals are able to turn carbohydrates into proteins by those bellies. That's God's wonderful chemistry. And they are very neat. The Bible describes them as clean animals. Now, they are vegetarians, so their flesh is next in quality to vegetables. Vegetables are the best. That's food from plants. The next is meat from animals that eat only grass. This includes cows, sheep, goats, antelopes, deer, and so on, buffaloes. Those are the animals. If you go down a little in that chapter, you'll see that all those animals must have hoofs. Hoofs on their feet, The hoofs must be divided so that it forms something like an M. Okay? And then all of them, to qualify for food, must be chewing the cud. That means they eat their food very quickly and go and lie down somewhere, regurgitate the food into their mouths, and do a second mastication before they finally swallow it. Those are the animals to eat, and I've given examples: sheep, goats, cattle, deer, antelopes, buffaloes, and so on. Those are the animals. If you go down the list, you'll find birds in the same chapter. The only birds recommended for food include chicken, turkey, guinea fowl, partridge, and so on. If you find these ones are mainly vegetable eaters, they eat seeds, they eat insects, they eat grains, they are meat animals. Birds. All the other birds that are carnivorous or scavengers are not to be touched. They are unclean. They give us diseases. Pigs are mentioned not to be touched because they are dirty. It doesn't matter whether you raise it on a cement floor or you allow it to roam about. There is something inherent in them not good. Some worms and all types of, organisms are able to live in their system permanently. And when they get into us, the life cycle is complete and they harm us. So we have to be very, very selective in the meat we eat. I've spoken about mammals, I've spoken about birds, insects. There are only 3 or so insects we can eat, and all of them are vegetarians again. The cricket, the grasshoppers, and the locust. Those 3 are related and they eat only grass, only vegetable. Okay? Fish. All the fishes we can eat are again vegetarians. They eat the green plankton in the waters, both freshwater and seawater. They don't eat any flesh, neither do they scavenge. They don't eat dirty things. All of them are characterized by having scales on their bodies and fins. They include herring, cod, salmon, and so on. Scaly fish. They also include this famous one, panla. Stockfish, yeah, stockfish. Many of you don't know that stockfish is scaly. They bring the dry one to you, having removed the scales already. But the fresh one, you can see that there are scales on them. So you see, that chapter, Leviticus 11, is a health chapter. It is to keep Israel and the spiritual Israel healthy. It needs self-discipline. It needs self-control to limit yourself to what God says you should eat. It's for your benefit. And if you live long and live well, and you are gifted by God, by the Holy Spirit, then you are an asset in the hands of God for Him to use you. Now, I want us to go to Daniel chapter 1. Daniel chapter 1. Please find time to study Leviticus in detail. The short time we have cannot Let us do full justice to it. Daniel chapter 1. If you read right from verse 10 down, you will see the experiment that was done in the University of Babylon. There were 4 Hebrew students in that university: Daniel, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. And they refused to defile themselves with the king's food. They were practicing real spirituality, even though they were strangers in another land. They told the warden to give them only beans and pure water, ordinary water. And after 10 days of experiment, the Bible says their complexion was 10 times better than the complexion of those who ate intricate food at the king's table. If you go further, he said, at the end of their 3 years of training, those 4 boys topped the list in intelligence. That means what we eat affects our IQ, our capacity to think and to develop things. So if we want our children to be very wonderful academically, professionally, and otherwise, let's give them the right type of food which God has recommended for us. I am afraid if you begin to give them a lot of American meat produced indoors, produced intensively from chemicalized feeds containing all types of hormones and antibiotics and so on, dangerous chemicals for them to grow very quickly, you may harm the brain and the nervous system of your children, particularly. Have you seen the agric chicken? Huh? You've seen the big agric chicken. Uh-huh. When you try to drive it away, what does it do? No, it comes to you. You are trying to drive the thing away, it comes to you. There's something wrong with the brain. And if your children eat too much of that, well, I don't know. You may have to hire many professors to come and teach the child at home. And it will not do any good anyway. You are what you eat. But look at our local chicken. Our local chicken that has eaten grass and so on. By the time you come to it, it's off. Or our goats, local village goats. By the time you reach it, it has jumped. So the same thing, what you eat is what will affect you. Look at some of the children in the US here. I'm sorry to say. Eh? They have eaten so many chemicals, they don't know when they hold a gun and kill 20 people. Hmm? And when they finish killing, they say something was wrong. They get a psychiatrist to defend. What's that? Okay. So this preventive medicine is very important. Let's eat well. I want to now to say a few things about our habit of eating itself. How should we eat? First and foremost, eat lightly. Don't eat heavy. When you are about to get full, stop. Don't get full. There's a timing a timing mechanism in our bodies. When you're about to be full, you know it. Discipline yourself and stop. Number 2, make your meals fairly regular. The body likes rhythm, timing. Our God Himself is very rhythmic in everything He does, day and night, week by week, month by month, year by year, season by season. So let's do that. The moon comes up every month at a particular time, and so on. So let's eat in a regular way. It is better to eat even 4 meals in a day in small ways than to eat 2 heavy meals in a day. Now, I'm going to say something which is like daily fasting. Daily fasting is extremely useful for health. If you can make it, eat all your meals, even if they are 4 meals, eat them lightly within 8 hours of the day. 8 hours. All your eating within 8 hours. Now you are left with 16 hours. Is that not so? You fast those 16 hours. If you do so, you forget about problems about, weight loss, this, that, and so on and so forth. Naturally, you will be okay. So why don't you eat your last meal around, say, 6 p.m.? Yesterday, some of you ate at midnight. Huh? Yeah, you see, if you eat at midnight and you sleep 30 minutes after that, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. The body will not accept it. It's not good. In fact, sometimes you regurgitate in your sleep. You find the food coming back because you see, the body has shut down a bit and digestion is not going on the proper way. So the body tries to bring back the food into the mouth. Sometimes you can even choke yourself because you ate late. Eat early in the evening, sleep light. At least you must eat and be awake for 3 hours before sleeping, as a general rule. So why don't you eat around 5 or 6 and do whatever activities you have to do and sleep later on? If you finish eating at 6 and you went to bed, and the following day you ate your breakfast at say 9 o'clock, you have already got 16 hours of not eating at all. Now that's a fast, You are breaking your fast, breakfast. It keeps your body very healthy. It makes the organs of your body to rest and to recoup. All right. How many hours should you sleep? This is very important for health too. Sleep at least 7 hours. Americans, sleep at least, I said at least 7 hours. How many people here sleep 7 hours? Let me see your hands. 7 hours. Oh, very few, you see. Some people sleep only 4 to 5 hours consistently because of work. Now, that is very dangerous because you are going to develop things like blood pressure, high blood pressure, that will complicate many other things. You are going to develop some mental problems, nervous problems. There are people suffering from dementia these days, serious forgetfulness. Later on, it develops into something else. There are people developing Parkinson's disease, which is a nervous disease, and it's because of these type of irregular things in our sleep. Sleep is very necessary for healing of the body and strength, longevity. It allows God to repair the body whilst we are asleep. Our sleep is like being, you know, anesthetized for an operation. Angels that are equipped to heal our bodies come in and go, they come in and go and do all types of repair work in our bodies whilst we are asleep. It's a form of unconsciousness necessary for our longevity. Again, about food, masticate well. Don't rush over your food. Americans, you want to go to work, you rush. Masticate the food very well. In fact, our time of eating must be considered a time of celebration. It's a time of worship. You are thanking God for providing a means of prolonging your life on this planet. You must be thankful. Don't rush through it. Create time for it. I'm going to mention one which is very difficult for many people. If you can help it, don't drink any liquid whilst you are eating, not even water. Finish your eating. Allow the enzymes in the body to work efficiently upon the food you have eaten. Don't dilute the enzymes with your water. You can drink water about 30 minutes after eating, or drink it about 30 minutes before eating. That is for good health. I'm going to mention something else about digestion. Make sure that every day you visit the bathroom at least twice. I said at least two, I didn't say twice. At least twice, which means 3 times will have been better if you eat 3 times. 4 times will have been better if you eat 4 times. Because it is part of what you put in that comes out. Simple mathematics. There are Christians who don't visit the bathroom for 3 days. They find it inconvenient. And if they find it inconvenient, one day they will pay for it. Research shows that over 85% of chronic diseases, terminal diseases, develop because of constipation. If you have regular elimination, you are already preventing the occurrence of those chronic diseases. This is one of the reasons why eating vegetables and fruits is compulsory and necessary. I recommend that every day you eat some fruits and vegetables because both of them have fiber. And fiber is very important to make the bowels move. But if you are constantly eating a lot of meat, you are going to have constipation problems. The digestion will be slow. In fact, many things will remain undigested for long in the and remain in the colon, and they get putrefied and hide themselves in some folds in the long, big, big intestines. Those folds are called diverticula. When they get rotten there, they produce terrible gases, and you suffer from what we call diverticulosis. From there, you may develop cancer, you may develop, kidney problems, you may develop dementia, you may develop all types of things. Because those gases get back into the blood system and they affect all the tissues of the body. Inflammation can come in, arthritis can come in, rheumatism can come in, all types of things come as a result of not visiting the bathroom. So let's make sure that we eat the right type of food that will help us to move our bowels, bowels regularly. Right. I will give you time to ask a few questions as I finish. Now, I've spoken enough about preventive medicine because it's mainly in our eating. But there are one or two things we can also do to prevent diseases. Movement. Movement. I don't want to call it exercise because exercise is too technical and some people go and pay money for exercise. Look, this body is a contraption for movement. Move. Move. Don't be sedentary. Let your work itself make you move. I know that many of us do administrative work and we have to sit down for a long time and so on, which is not good for our health. So create means of movement and burn energy. Let your muscles exercise themselves. Let your bones move. I think many women should not have a lot of problems with that. The chores at home normally make many of you move. But I don't know, with America, with all the contraptions, you want to wash, the machine is there. You want to grind, the machine is there. You want to, everything is so, automated. But create environments for movement. Walk. Christians have got one way of movement which is very good: dancing. Dancing, choruses, clapping. It's good. It's good. It heals. But let's create something for movement. Let not be too sedentary all the time. It helps blood circulation. It helps breathing. It helps toning the muscles. The vibrations that go into all the tissues are necessary for health. It helps excretion also. All right. Let me quickly go to preventive medicine. In Jesus' ministry and in our ministry also, healing is very, very important. When something has gone wrong in the body, there is the need to put it right again. And in his ministry, he went about preaching, teaching, healing, exorcising. If you read a place like Matthew chapter 4, verses 23 to 25, you will find all those four things in the ministry. If you go to chapter 9 of the same Matthew, you will find all the four things mentioned together. That's a holistic ministry. So we need to heal the body? Well, direct spiritual healing is paramount. We must have faith in the power of Jesus Christ to heal us directly. But he has also provided plans for healing. The same God. Can we go to 2 Kings quickly? 2 Kings chapter 20. Is that 2 Kings? Yeah, that's it. They said King Hezekiah was sick unto death. And the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos, came to him and said unto him, Thus said the Lord, set your house in order, for thou shalt die. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto the Lord, saying, I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in your sight. And Hezekiah wept. Yeah. And it came to pass, before Isaiah was gone out into the middle court, that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, Turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, Thus said the Lord, the God of David, thy father, I have heard your prayer, I have seen your tears. Behold, I will heal thee. On the third day thou shalt go up unto the house of the Lord, and I will add unto you 15 years, and I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria. And I will defend this city for my own sake and for my servant David's sake. Okay, you know what followed? And Isaiah said, Take a lump of figs, and they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. A lump of figs. Now that is a poultice. That means you take the fig leaves and you squeeze everything together for the juice to come out, sap to come out. And it is the sap, that liquid containing phytonutrients, phytochemicals, that entered the skin, softened the boil, and made it to come out. Now, the Lord said, I will heal you. And yet he used a particular herb with particular properties to bring about the healing. There are many places in the Bible that shows that materials were used by God for healing. He has attached his name to plants for healing. This is where herbal science comes in. If you go to Ezekiel chapter 47, verse 12, he says, The fruits of the trees shall be for food, and their leaves shall be for healing. Now, God commends the use of herbs for healing. The wrong teaching in the church that herbs are not from God for healing comes not from God, but from Satan. We are being prevented from using what God has created for our benefit. Well, I have done a lot of studies in this up to PhD level, and I practice it. I do a lot of pharmacognosy. I experiment with many, many herbs, and I have a whole log, catalog of herbs and their properties and how to combine them for different diseases. That knowledge is from God. It's not from Satan. Satan has not made even one plant. All the plants have been made by God alone. He is the creator. Satan is not a creator. So let us not abuse what God has made. In fact, the word of God says, My people perish for lack of knowledge. Therefore, I urge this afternoon is medicinal. The vegetable you ate this afternoon is medicinal. The oil you eat is medicinal. Are we there? Pepper. Pepper is wonderful medicine. Onion, super. Onion is wonderful antibiotic. Garlic, ginger, turmeric. All these are powerful medicines. So you can go on to every other plant. The reason we are not using many of them is because we are ignorant. We don't know why God created them. So the more we know of why God created those things, the better we are. It means we are really good stewards of what God has made for us. So I want us to disabuse our minds that herbs are not to be used by Christians. In fact, it is Christians who must use herbs for their health. And I want you to know more and more about many, many herbs. For example, tete, amaranthus. How many of us know that tete? Can I see hands? It contains wonderful plant hormones that help gynecological problems in women. So if you squeeze tete, if you squeeze it and get the green juice and you make tea out of it, you drink it, you are balancing your hormonal system. Women with, menstrual disorders and so on and so forth. That's all. It doesn't cost you anything. You go for complicated x-rays and, all types of gadgets are used upon you until you are sick from those things. And they charge you big amounts. Your insurance company, all types of, complicated things. They introduce that mammogram you do on your breast, increases cancer in the breast. I'm telling you, there are many things they force us to do here, which are harming our bodies. So let's gain wisdom from the word of God and live simply. Having said that, let me mention a few herbs that can help you in your health generally. I'm going to mention 2 or 3 antibiotics, broad spectrum antibiotics. They don't fail. God made the composition himself. Guava leaves. Did you hear me? Where's my daughter?
In Jesus' name.
Uh-huh. Amen. Can you hear me at the back? Good. I said guava leaves. Guava. Ordinary guava leaves. I've done a lot of research on it. Look, it is antiviral, it is antibacterial, it is antifungal, it is antimicrobial in every way. It will attack and destroy some of the most dangerous, bacteria in the world. A brother to it is tender mango leaves. Tender mango leaves. Those brownish ones that just come out at the tips. At the tips of the branches. You know what I'm talking about? Just dry them under shade and make tea out of them. Now you are drying them just because you may not have them all the time. Otherwise, the fresh one is the best. Just make green tea out of those things and drink. I cannot go into the details, but let me just touch them. Another very powerful antibiotic is called Aspelia. Aspelia africana. Aspelia, Aspilia, Aspelia africana, yes, Africana. The common name, the common Yoruba name is Nyonyo. How many of us know Nyonyo? Only people who lived in the village like me. Nyonyo grows by the roadside with yellow flower like sunflower. It's a bit, it's like sandpaper. A bit like sandpaper. It's food for rabbits. Many people gather it for rabbits. Now, that's a very powerful antibiotic, antiviral. I use it to heal so many infections, so many. So that's on the side of antibiotics. Let's think of diabetes. Diabetes. The best plant for it is called Momordica carantia. Momordica carantia. Momordica. Momordica. Carantia is Charantia. Carantia. Momordica carantia. Again, it's a very common plant. It trails, it creeps on the ground and on other plants like that. The common name is bitter melon. Bitter melon. How many of us know bitter melon? Oh, yeah, somebody knows it. The Yoruba name is Ejirin. Ejirin. It has got some scent. That plant is powerful. And have you known something? All the plants I'm mentioning grow by the roadside. Oh. Why do they grow by the roadside? Because of the wisdom and the mercy of God. He wants the most common, the poorest person to have knowledge of it and to use it. And most of these plants I'm mentioning are anthropogenic. They grow where human beings dwell. They don't grow in the far forests. They grow near you so that you can get them. Diabetes and blood pressure. That plant I've just mentioned. High blood pressure, it will lower it. Let me mention one very important one for blood pressure. Are we ready? We know that umbrella tree. Do we know umbrella tree? It's very common in Lagos. It's very common in many villages. Ekpaomade. The English name is Indian almond. Indian almond. It's a decorative tree. People plant it on their compounds. Shade tree, The branches are almost horizontal with big leaves, and the fruit is sickle. The fruit is sickle shaped. We know it. Children eat the back of the fruit and then crack it for the white seed inside. Do we know it? Ẹ̀pà ọmọdé ni wọ́n ń pè. Indian almond. Now, those leaves will normalize blood pressure. Now, let me tell you the miracle there. If the blood pressure is high, it will bring it down. If the blood pressure is low, it will bring it up. The same plant. And the reason is this: the biochemistry is wonderful. Once the liquid gets into the body, there are two chemicals there, opposite each other. There's a message from the brain of the patient to the chemical to say the blood pressure is high. So, what lowers blood pressure will be active. What increases blood pressure will be made redundant just by the chemistry in the body. So, two people will take the same thing. One has high blood pressure, the other has low blood pressure, and both of them will be healed. Are you there? Now, there are many phenomena like that in nature. The plants are so complex. One plant can contain about 500 different phytonutrients or phytochemicals. But what pharmacists and so on do is when they find one property, one chemical there that does something, they extract it and leave the 500 left there. And then they use that one for whatever they want to do. But you see, God in his own wisdom didn't create that one to be taken alone. There are things inside there that balance the equation because he made the human body and he knows how it acts. So there are building blocks that go together to do something special. That's why we in naturopathy use holistic things. We use the whole plant and we see what happens. You will find that you are healing one thing, and by the end of the day, you have healed 12 things because of the accompanying chemicals. So every plant has multiple purposes. Our local people who know this call it bobonche. There is some fact in it. One single plant can do so many things positive for the body. I'm not saying that there are not poisons in some plants. There are. But you see, we study all these things and we know how to deal with them. Yeah. Let me mention something about what other common disease do we have around here. Can you mention one of them? Huh? What? Oh, ulcer, peptic ulcer, any other ulcer in the intestines and so on. Right. Now, you need good antibiotics for ulcer. Okay? And I have already mentioned some antibiotics. Let me just mention a few more. Now, for ulcer particularly, you need, apart from antibiotics, something that heals wounds, okay? Wounds or sores. The peeling of either banana or plantain, okay? Extremely rich in potassium compounds. You dry the thing, pulverize it into powder, and then suspend it in clean water for about 12 hours. The potassium salts will will dissolve into the water. You sieve the thing, and the patient sips that liquid containing potassium salts gently on empty stomach. By the time he does it early in the morning, every day for about a week, whatever peptic ulcer is there will be healed. But it must go accompanied by a good antibiotic, like the ones I've mentioned, tea from mango leaf or tea from guava leaf, so that the bacterium itself is also destroyed. Hmm? All right. Any other common disturbing disease? Yes? Huh? No, don't ask question. I just want, what is it? Oh, autism. Ah, that's a very complex disease. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning it. But you know that there's a cure for it? Hospitals cannot cure autism. We have been treating a number of cases, some some in the US here, some in the UK. There's a doctor, a medical doctor in UK, whose son is about 14. We had to treat him. There are some in Nigeria. Autism occurs mainly in civilized communities, particularly highly industrialized communities. It is a nervous disease. And it is when the women are pregnant with their babies and are exposed to environments with very dangerous gases, and they breathe in the gas all the time, or eat foods that have been preserved with chemicals, that those children you know develop some things in their nervous system causing autism. They are either very, very active, restless, and all types of things, withdrawn into themselves. And usually they are very brilliant, but they keep to themselves and do all types of things. They can injure themselves. It's because of the nervous disorder. And we have plants called nervines that are food and repairers to the nervous system and the brain. We combine them in specific ways to help those children to become more and more normal. It takes some time, but it works. Okay? What? Nervines. Nerve. Nervines. Sorry, my pronunciation is Ghanaian. Nervines. I didn't say nerve. It's a very complex disease. We combine it with some, nutritive advice on nutrition and so on, and it works. We've brought all types of medications here to this conference, dealing with all these type of things. So, if you have need of them, you can do some interviews, counseling, and we can prepare them. Any other common disease? I want to deal with things that are relevant. Arthritis. Arthritis or rheumatism, both of them are the result of inflammations, and we have herbs that deal with them very well. Incidentally, one of the herbs which you know very well is moringa. Moringa is very useful in arthritis. Another one is ginger. You may think ginger is so common and that it will not work. It works. Incidentally, we can package ginger, we can package turmeric. What else can we package? Moringa itself. Yeah. I didn't mention that you must be drinking enough water every day. Water is number one medicine. Don't take it for granted. There are people who don't drink even 3 cups of water a day. Insomnia. Oh, I have many things for insomnia. But let me give you one as a tip. That's the same Indian almond, umbrella tree. Huh? The leaves. The leaves can make you sleep. The leaves can heal joint pains. I've used those leaves in helping epileptics. It's a nervine too. It deals with the nervous system. Yes. Sorry. Diseases of the blood system, cardiovascular diseases. Yeah. Okay. Now there are many diseases of the blood system. Um, one of the major ones is the blockage of the blood vessels themselves. Eh? Sometimes, because of the blockage, there is high blood pressure and there is attendant embolism that makes even some of the blood vessels to burst, and internal bleeding can kill easily. Now, we have what we call blood thinners or restoratives. And let me mention one or two of them. A good one is ginger, ordinary ginger. Another one is turmeric. One very good one that also affects and repairs the heart is called Ageratum conizoides. Those are just big words. So when I mention the local name, you will laugh. Let me spell it. Ageratum. Because you see, you need to go to the internet and find out this thing. Ageratum, Ageratum. The second name is conizoides, Conyzoides. Ageratum conizoides. The Yoruba name is Imieshu. Imieshu. How many of us know it? Oh, only the village boys know it. Imieshu is very powerful antibiotic too. It's also hemostatic, you know. If somebody is bleeding heavily and you use it, it will stop the bleeding. Aspilia also does the same. They are members of the same family. Incidentally, bitter leaf is of the same family and does the same thing. Bitter leaf. Now you see, you may not find bitter leaf in the internet, but you'll find the scientific name. Let me give you the scientific name of bitter leaf. Vernonia, Vernonia, Vernonia. The second name is bigger. Amygdalina, Amygdalina, Vernonia amygdalina, bitter leaf. Now, incidentally, bitter leaf is not only going to help the blood, it's going to lower blood sugar, and it's going to normalize blood pressure. It is also anti-cancer. I wonder why nobody has said cancer here. Oh, is that so? It's a major thing. Look, I've been dealing with so many patients in this country with cancer, even including leukemia. Medical science cannot heal leukemia. But within 2 weeks of one person who has suffered for 7 years here, used our this thing. He just jumped out of bed and he's doing very well. An old man, over 70. Okay, let me give you 2 or 3 plans for cancer. We can only touch things briefly here. One of the best is sour soup. Sour soup. The scientific name is Annona muricata. Annona, Annona. Annona muricata is Muricata. Annona muricata. Sour soup. How many people know sour soup? Oh, okay. That's all right. Let me give you another one for cancer. In fact, I've given it before for diabetes. Momordica carantia. You remember? Aging. Momordica carantia. And let me give a third one. Lactuca. Lactuca. Lactuca taraxafolio. Taraxa. Taraxa. Folia. Folia. Lactuca taraxacifolia. Now, that one, again, only villagers will know it. Efonyami. I love it. I love it. The equivalent of it in this country, very close to it, is what you people call dandelion. Dandelion, you know it? Huh? Americans. Do you know dandelion? Huh? They know that one. You know what they do? They spray it with chemicals. Here, they don't want it. And the thing is at the door. It grows near the door. And it's very powerful. Now, this same thing I've mentioned is powerful for cleansing and maintaining both the liver and the kidneys. Please, you better note it. The liver is the most important organ in the body, as a laboratory for manufacturing things for the body and destroying, dangerous things. The liver and the kidneys. Those two are very important. And God created that plant to sanitize it. Okay, that's cancer. There are hundreds of plants that can heal cancer. Prostate cancer, any type of cancer. And so many men are suffering from prostate now. Yes, uh, Bishop Ojo, when it's time for me to stop, just tell me. Yeah. Sorry, you have to shout a bit. Mm, eh? Dandelion. You use the leaves mainly. You use the leaves mainly. Yeah. Yes. You use it as tea. You prepare it as green tea. Yeah. Just boil water. Boiling water. Use boiling water and extract the tea. Yeah. Yes. Nervine. That terminalia catap. Oh, I didn't give that name. Did I? I didn't give that name. That Indian almond. That Indian almond is called Terminalia catapa. Now that's a very good nervine. Okay, it works on the nervous system and the brain. Terminalia catapa. Terminalia, Termalia. Then the second name is catapa, Catappa. Huh? Okay. Okay. What did you say? Huh? Epilepsy. I mentioned one plant before. The same, the same plant. The same, the same Terminalia catapa. Yeah, I said I've used it to heal epilepsy. Yeah. You make it as tea, But there's another plant which is very good for it. It's called Alcornia cordifolia. Alcornia, Alcordia. No, Alcornia. Sorry, Alcornia. Alcornia. Alcornia cordifolia. 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 The common name is Christmas bush, not Christmas trio. Christmas bush. Yes. What? Depression. Well, depression is connected with low blood pressure too. Okay? It's connected with the hormonal system and the nervous system. Let me give you 2 or 3 plants that can help. One of them is called Vitex. Vitex. Okay? Now, Vitex is very powerful in balancing the hormonal system. Okay? No, I haven't finished. Let me finish with that. Another one is ocimum. OCIMUM. Now, ocimum basilicum. BASILICUM. Ocimum basilicum. How many of you know Ephraim? That's ocimum basilicum. Eh? For depression. Yeah. Okay, sir. Eh? Hmm. Bishop Ojo. Eh? Eh? Oh, ED. Okay. I brought the medicine here. I brought the medicine here because so many Christians are suffering from it. And it's not good for the home. Yeah. Some people don't want us to speak about it. They are very holy. And yet speaking about it is holiness. Yeah. The sanity of the home is very important. Exactly. And yet, what is his name? Abraham. Abraham at 120. Eh? Married a teenager, Keturah, and has 6 sons. 6 sons. They didn't count the girls. Today you have 35-year-old people with ED. I wonder. First of all, the preventive this thing is not eating white sugar, not eating food made with polished flour, no soft drinks. Now, that is extremely important to make even any medication you take work because you are what you eat. Our eating is very important. Our diseases come mainly from our eating. Having said that, positively eating carrots, and cucumber helps a lot. The plants that now help as tea, guava leaves, tender mango leaves, ginger, turmeric, that lactuca. I've mentioned lactuca already. You remember? Eh? Nyari. What? Eh? Oh, okay. Yeah. She knows it. Black pepper. Pipel guineense. Black pepper. Write a scientific name, you can get it. Piper. Piper. Piper, Guineense, GUINEENSE, Guineense. Yes, black pepper. That means Guinea pepper. Yeah, very Guineense. Yeah. A combination of any of them. Eh? You see, what those things do is to accelerate the blood circulation. Eh? Because what happens is that not enough blood goes into the organs. Okay? And then the hormonal system is also to be sharp. Those who eat processed foods preserved with chemicals will suffer from ED. Because most of those processed foods are estrogenic. They contain estrogen producing chemicals. And when estrogen increases in men, ED takes place. Women too, when estrogen goes beyond what should be in women, they develop fibroids. Okay? Fibroids. Nobody has mentioned fibroids yet. And about 50% of my female patients suffer from fibroids. Chemicals in our food, dangerous chemicals. And our environment is full of terrible gases, Actually, I would advise that say once in a month or once in 2 months, let every Christian detoxify his body. We prepare some detox too, a combination of some herbs to cleanse the body, cleanse the alimentary system, cleanse the blood system, tune up the nervous system. We combine herbs like that. You take it for say 1 week, and you are okay for a number of months. Because we cannot prevent some chemicals from getting into our system, since we have to breathe and we have to drink and so on and so forth. I think Bishop Ojo is being very diplomatic. I know.
What bipolar disorder? Bipolar disorder.
Yeah, it's a nervous end and hormonal disorder. So we have the nervines for them. Okay? And I've mentioned some nervines already. Yeah. Huh? You don't want to be preparing. I'm handing over to him.
Question. Praise the Lord. Okay. That is why I should allow for 2 questions. 2. So if you have question, let me see your hand. Okay, Pastor Lana. Any other person? Okay, that's good. The male and the female. No, she has had so many questions. For the children. Let me see your own question. For who? Is for the children or for women or for men?
For everybody, sir.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, my question, sir, is what is the benefit?
It will be 3 questions then. That's the 3.
Okay, sir. What is the benefit of fasting to the human body? I want to ask if fasting really help delay aging processes, and does fasting also help detoxify our body system as well?
Benefits of fasting. There are so many benefits of fasting. When you fast, you allow most of the organs of your body to have a Sabbath, particularly the alimentary system. And when any part of the body has a Sabbath, when you stop the Sabbath, that organ works better. That's one. Two, when you fast, you cleanse the body. Poisons get out from the blood system. You eliminate through the colon and the rectum. You perspire dangerous gases out. You breathe out terrible things. The body just repairs itself in wonderful ways. Of course, I'm not going to speak about the spiritual implications. You know that already, but I'm talking only on the physical level right now. Okay? Have I answered you? Have I answered? Yeah.
In sleeping, you made mention of 7 hours sleep, good for the body. My question is, there is afternoon naps for some people that have the time. Does the 7 hours of sleep, or rest in between?
Do naps take part of the 7 hours? The answer is yes. A total of 7 hours in 24 hours. In fact, sometimes a nap of 20 to 30 minutes does a lot of good to the body. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. So is there any herbs or food that help children with a learning disability? Not that they have show for it, but you know that this child has issue with learning. That learns slowly, but you know that something is not right with their.
Yes. There are
Not
many.
not.
There are helps for
Okay.
the brain.
Yes, sir.
There are helps for the brain. There are also nervines.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
They are nervines, and there are many of them. Yeah. Incidentally, one of them is the nut. No, no. Asala. Walnut. Walnut is extremely good for the brain. Both the one here and the one back home. They are very good. Now that's why children from villages in Nigeria, when they go to the city to school, they play football after school, they don't read. All that the teacher has taught, it remains in their brain. And they beat those city boys. Nobody gets an extra teacher for them to teach them at home. Walnut, very good. And the bobo further enjoying.
Can we put our hands together for Daddy, please? Let's celebrate God. You are not clapping. Let's clap. Okay. Daddy says if he has more time tomorrow, we deal with more diseases. So tomorrow, there will be more time. Praise God. How many who are blessed today? I shouldn't even ask.
Now I want to, if you're really blessed, let me see one. Okay. Now, particularly my children that are in Maryland, Washington, Axis, please call your friends. Let them come. You see, hospital medical issue is a huge industry in America. They're just making money out of it. Cancer is a major industry. And they're not giving what truly helps. This is a way out. Please, can we give Baba a big hand, please? Now, Baba mentioned somebody, this man, Bishop Ojo knows person. The lady just came to me. She's a deaconess in our church, and the husband an elder. And the man was suffering from Parkinson's disease. And I've been on for years. Everything just shaking like this. Brought him to me to pray. Of course, I prayed. But then I said, my daughter, I will send you to Baba Mike. Oh, yeah. And I called Baba to find out when we'll be in Nigeria. And he told me. So I sent them and gave him a note. They've gone through medical, whatever. You know that Parkinson is considered as incurable here. In a couple of 1 to 3 months, the man stopped shaking. The man is very healthy, no shaking at all. This is somebody that had been shaking for years. They came to me for prayer, and then I sent them to Baba, and the shaking stopped. And for nothing. So please, let's call. And if you listen to Baba, he was speaking as an authority. He wasn't referring to books for those things, you know. So call your friends for tomorrow's session. And Bishop Ojo, please help me find out from Daddy Mike if you can package the presentation of today and tomorrow into CD or MP3 so you can listen to it again. For my daughter who is expert in, she has a PhD in pharmacies. I can see she was smiling, you know, because when Baba was mentioned, but to some of us, Baba was speaking in tongues. So if you listen to it again and again, you can interpret the tongues. So 2 things I want to say: call your friends, let them come, whether they are born again or not. Call them. People that are struggling with stuff. 1 more session tomorrow until 2:00. Please, all of us, let's make time to be here. Whatever you have scheduled for 2:00 tomorrow, put them aside. You will not see evil. When people are suffering with cancer, they put everything aside to go to the hospital to wait and wait. And at the end of the day, out of the chemotherapy, whatever it is, radiation, they see that. But this is a sure way. The Lord will preserve our lives. Baba, thank you. Thank you. And then consultation opportunity is there. And the medicine that Baba brought, please go for it. Thank you so very much. Bishop, over to you. Now, my pastors, go for your nap. You have heard that nap is good. We will meet after the evening meeting. So go for nap. Please give the Lord a hand.
No more pastors meeting. So go and sleep. Drink water. Drink water. Plenty of water. Praise the name of the Lord. Can we give thanks to God? He has blessed us tremendously this afternoon. Let's celebrate God and give him glory. Let's thank for the wisdom that he has given to man.